Alrighty, let's watch a little bit more of this shit show before I start my day. Because if I start my day before watching it, I will never get to it. Anyway, I wanted to talk about this for a real minute. Public notice. You can provide comments at a virtual hearing on TRIMET's plan for the Federal Transit Administration funding. And here's a list of problems. They got 147,555,828. Oh no, that's the total amount. This is the federal amount, is 120,681. And this is the local amount. So the feds, they're the ones that steal your money and then they launder it back to the municipalities and government entities like TRIMET through these programs. And we know how this works. This is a laundering scheme. Doesn't benefit any actual people, but this is where we live. So let's look at them real quick here. All right, Section 503, urbanized area formula. Yes, urbanized area formula. Bus and rail maintenance, capital expense, so capital projects. Labor and materials used for ongoing maintenance of the bus and rail fleets. 54 million. So that's interesting because not very much of that comes out of your local payroll tax. Okay, Section 5537, state of good repair. High intensity motor bus and high intensity fixed guideway. What? 40 million. Labor and materials for ongoing maintenance of the bus and rail fleets. They got plenty of money to maintain the equipment. Why is the equipment such junk? That would be my question. Why is it such crap? I mean, we hear it all the time, all the breakdown. Okay, enhanced mobility of seniors. 1.3 million to fund mobility management activities. Purchase of services operating and preventive maintenance for services focused on area. Surface transportation block grant. 14 million. .4. Regional rail debt service. Shit. Okay, 10 million capital expense. So this goes directly to the banking cartel. This was for my Portland, Milwaukee light rail. So this is where the international banking cartel takes its cut of your money. It's quite a system they got here. Another bus and rail preventive maintenance, another 3.6 million. Labor and materials for ongoing, it's the same thing in 3 different spots. Congestion mitigation and air quality, 11 million. Oh, this also goes right to the bonds. So all this money basically is stolen right from under your eyes. They don't really do anything that I can see. I mean, the equipment is junk. The mobility for seniors is terrible. State of good repair, it's not in a state of good repair. It's crap. So that's $12,963,000 laundered through your taxes to whoever is getting this money, and who knows who it is. Okay, back to this.
And then I think the Great Resignation. I think people just decided that I'm not coming back to work. I'm going to take a little bit of time off right now.
Yeah, right. Blame it on that. Blame your failure on external factors. I think this is the end of the general manager's report.
From that standpoint. So we got our HR. We have all of our employees really engaged.
Yeah, we saw this, but we'll watch the tail end of this. Yeah, this is an institutional failure that is profound. And, their excuse is the Great Resignation. It's a lie. It's a lie. He's directly responsible, and he will pay no penalty. Meanwhile, riders are left in the ditch, and too bad for the riders. They're the low people on the totem pole.
This is our key priority for the organization, is to be able to staff up so that we can reinstate service back to pre-pandemic levels. And it's critical.
That's a lie. And you know how I know that? Because at another board meeting, one of the service planning, no, it was fucking, what's his name? That fucking goofball, Vanetta, gave away the game. He said right out that they are restructuring their bus service. They've already hired Jarrett Walker to do it. So he's lying. That's a bold-faced lie right there. They're not going to bring back your bus service. Ever. Oh, shit. Where was I?
For me to get in front and talk to you, and
Shut up.
I can tell you that our public affairs team,
Yeah.
we are working very
Okay.
pandemic levels. And it's
There he is. All right. Let's move forward here.
what we're doing, all of the great things that TRIMET is doing for the region and for the public.
You're not doing anything for the region. You're not doing anything for the public. Stop lying. I know you get paid to lie.
And I think that we'll have people eventually come back to us.
Thank you very much.
That's what an answer. We'll have people eventually come back to us. Meanwhile, the nutbag is here.
All right. Well, thank you very much, General Manager DeSue. So now it's time for us to go to the consent agenda and move into our resolutions.
Yes.
And the items on the consent agenda, as we know, are considered routine and may be approved by the board in one blanket motion. And today we have three. We have the approval of the minutes of our April 27, 2022 meeting. We have a resolution directing that the reading of all ordinances be by title only. And then we have one resolution 22-05-30 authorizing an increase in the contract authority for construction manager general contractor services for the Division Transit Project with Raymore Construction. Before I ask for a motion, are there any board members that would like anything removed and moved into the regular resolution area?
It was here. I was just using it.
Not hearing any, then I will entertain a motion to approve the items contained in the consent agenda.
So moved.
Thank you, Director Edwards. And is there a second?
Can't you see I'm doing important work here? Shut up.
I didn't hear who that was.
Director Lewis.
Who
Oh,
cares?
thank you. There were two people at the same time. Thank you, Director Lewis. It's been moved and seconded. Does anyone wish to make any comments before we vote? All right. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed?
Tough vote there.
Motion carries.
Boys.
All right. Next, we're going to move into some resolutions that don't appear on the agenda.
What?
Resolution 22-05-28, honoring the Chief Financial Officer and Executive Director for Finance and Administrative Services, D. Brookshire. Mr. General Manager, your comments.
Again, good morning, board. President Simmons. We have two employees today that we would like to recognize. And I really ask the board and the public to join us in recognizing the achievements and the contributions of these two retiring executives, both D. Brookshire and Steve Witter. Just a quick explanation, and then I'm going to have President Simmons take it back over. D has served TRIMET, our employees, the region, with 8 years of dedicated service as the Executive Director of Finance and Administrative Services.
Past meetings.
Steve Witter is the Executive Director of Engineering, Construction, and Planning, and he has provided 21 years of dedicated service to TRIMET, our employees in the region. D, Steve, thank you. Thank you for your services, and really thank you for everything.
All right, this was not published. Okay, this was not published. What a bunch of baloney. Yeah. You know how they love to celebrate themselves. They love to give themselves awards, call themselves great. And that's what they're doing here. This was not published in the agenda.
You've done for TRIMET. So President Simmons, back to you.
Yes, we're going to move on these separately. So I'm going to read the resolution that you have on the screen
great.
For you, and then I will ask for a motion on Resolution 22-05-28. Resolution of the Tri-County Metropolitan Transportation District of Oregon, honoring Chief Financial Officer and Executive Director for Finance and Administrative Services, Dee Brookshire, for her leadership and dedication. Whereas the Tri-County Metropolitan Transportation District of Oregon, known as TRIMET, and its Board of Directors wish to honor Chief Financial Officer and Executive Director for Finance and Administration, Dee Brookshire, for her 8 years of committed service to this agency.
Big deal. I did 15 years of committed service to the agency. Where's my fucking resolution honoring me?
Oh, these people are all fucking professional bureaucrats.
Yeah.
And whereas
They love to give themselves
Dee
awards.
Brookshire has brought over 20 years of public and private sector finance experience to TriMet
Nobody
in
cares. Nobody
2014
gives a
and
shit.
quickly established a strong finance and administrative services team, fostering a cohesive work group through systematic and strategic organization and direction. And whereas Dee Brookshire's tenure, she helped establish and develop TriMet's procurement and supply chain management and risk management departments, yielding more systematic approach and process
And that's why the agency is a complete fucking failure right now.
to agency financial planning and outlook. And whereas Dee Brookshire has wisely led more than 130 division employees and expertly cultivated leaders of the 5 departments of her division.
She's cultivated the leadership team.
Those are financial services,
Yeah.
budgets and grants, fair revenue and administrative services, procurement and supply chain management, and insurance programs. Whereas under Dee Brookshire's leadership, TriMet set bond rating history, becoming
They set bond rating history. Yes, bond rating history. The least important thing in a transit district.
the first
Sorry, we don't have any bus service. We don't have any rail service, but we do have bond rating history.
special tax-based, tax-backed transit agency to achieve a AAA rating from Moody's in 2015, and then Standard
Yeah,
and
you know who else had a AAA bond rating? Enron.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Poor becoming the only special tax-backed transit agency to achieve a AAA rating from Moody's and Standard and Poor's global ratings, and in 2018 becoming the first transit agency in the nation to receive a AAA bond rating from the top 3 rating agencies, including Moody's, Standard and Poor's, and the Kroll bond rating agencies. And whereas Dee Brookshire worked to ensure the agency maintained its AAA credit rating during the economic downturn associated with the COVID-19 pandemic, extending and
They maintained their AAA rating even when service wasn't running. See, this is very good, because what you see is what the real priorities of this agency are, and they're not service.
Increasing the agency's demonstrated record of financial strength and stability. And whereas Dee Brookshire helped position the agency to issue new and popular sustainability bonds specifically dedicated to providing environmental and or social benefits, furthering TriMet's commitment to sustainability and its adoption of environmental practices and technologies. And whereas Dee Brookshire has demonstrated true leadership and financial acumen, ensuring the stability of the agency and positioning TriMet to make prudent investments, ensure asset management, promote thoughtful system expansion, and improve service for our customers. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the TriMet Board of Directors and the TriMet staff hereby express sincere gratitude to Dee Brookshire for her dedicated leadership and service, and be it further resolved that a framed copy of this resolution be presented to Dee Brookshire as an expression of our heartfelt respect and appreciation. I entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
This is Lori's second.
Okay, so I have, I think it was Director Gonzalez who got there first, and Director Bauman who seconded the motion. So does anyone wish to make any comments?
I would like to make a comment.
Yes, Director Edwards.
Dee has been very special, and I think in what she has brought to TRIMET, certainly since I've been here, I've had a great relationship with her because there's a personality to what she does. Usually when folks are, as we say, bean counters or numbers people, they don't bring a personality or any personal relationship, and I think Dee has done that, and it's been very special. And I have one caveat on this, that Dee remains on the as a management representative on the pension fund. So, because she has been irreplaceable in her responsibility there as well. So, Dee, I know you're retiring, but thank you very much for your service. And just for me, I really appreciate what you've really brought and helped me in my responsibilities as well. So, thank you.
Director Bauman?
Yeah, thank you, Dee. I just can't say enough about how I value your service to TriMet. You're always patient with all of the board questions and getting us all up to speed, those of us who aren't necessarily numbers persons. And you know, the track record of the bond rating that the agency has achieved, that has really a landmark and has really supported the financial health of the agency. And then we always get such compliments from the TSCC and from our auditors about the tremendous job that your group does in maintaining records and being very upfront and transparent and just meeting all the standards that are set for financial performance for transit agencies. So I wanted to just take a minute and say thank you for all you've done and just wish you all the best in your retirement.
Director Lewis?
Oh, thank you. Dee, you are epic. I do not have a long history with you, but I have to say I ran into Travis about 2 weeks ago, and he was highly commenting on his work with you. So I know you through Travis, and I've heard such wonderful things and much success on retirement. You're not going to have as much fun on retirement as, well, I'm just saying that, as you have here. You will miss us, but I think you are epic, and thank you for all your years of service.
Thank you. And Dee, what I would say to you is you have so definitely earned the right to be able to set your own schedule. You will thoroughly do whatever you want to do and in ways you want to contribute. And it has just been an absolute pleasure to get to know you and to work with you and to have the agency have your leadership. I also see that Ozzy Gonzalez has his hand raised now too. But anyway, I wish you well into the future.
Thank you, Director Simmons. I didn't know if there was going to be a roll call before you closed it off or if you had to raise hands. But
you have to raise hands.
Thank you. Dee, I don't get to say this in person, so I'll go ahead and just bring it out in the public forum. I really appreciate the work you've done for TriMet. You've kept a very big ship tight, and you've made it a no fuss, no mess experience for us. And as a testament to all of the feedback we get from the audits and all of the professionals that look at the agency. You've been able to handle this with aplomb, and it's just been a fantastic experience to have you here. You make what is clearly a very complicated world very straightforward to understand. in the way in which you handle the finances. I wish you nothing but happiness and joy in the next chapter of your book, and I really am grateful that we got to have your talent and your skills here at the agency for the years that we did. Thank you.
Mhm. So, do any other board members wish to make any comments? So I'm going to ask for the vote. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Dee. Now we're going to move to resolution.
Boy, that was bad, wasn't it? That was really bad, man. That was just horrendous. Cut.